Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. On this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answer they need from an employment attorney. We have a question here from YouTube user, okay, which is actually something I say all the time. Okay. Uh, and okay says, I fear that I messed up by not accepting mediation at the beginning of filing my formal complaint. How badly did I mess up? So good news, bad news. You did mess up. I'm a huge proponent of mediating early and often. Even if you don't choose to settle your case, it's still a group of people getting together, talking about giving you money. That is a positive conversation. It's valuable because people can anchor themselves, right? If they offer you 30 grand and you're like, nah, I want 300 grand, that's still not a bad thing that happened. That might have felt insulting, but it's going to be a little hard for them in the negotiation to go down. Now, they can go down. There's nothing that says they can't go down, but human beings are a little reluctant to go down in negotiations. Just one of the quirks of our brain stems, our lizard brains, right? Can I say lizard brains? I don't, hopefully. Hopefully, we all agree evolution, right? That's a thing. Brain stems, human nature. It's being civilized is very new to us, right? So a lot of things we do don't fully make a ton of sense in a logical, sophisticated, modern world, right? And one of those things, to some extent, is like if you offer something in negotiation, like this hypothetical 30K, and then the next time you don't feel great going down again. You feel like that's not a great position or it's unreasonable. People do it, again, and they can do it, but generally there's an anchoring effect where they don't want to. Additionally, you learn a lot about the other side. You learn potentially what the strengths of their case are, because they might tell you, like, here's how we're going to beat your case, so this is why you should take what we're offering. But also, you can learn a lot about how afraid they are, how concerned, right? Like if you're at 300 grand and they're at 30 and you're like, no, but I'll come down to 270. Do you want to come up? And they're like, no, we think your number's silly. Now listen, is that positional? Could that be theatrics on their part? Sure. But also, let's face facts. If they were dying to get that case settled, there might be some movement there, right? So you're learning, like, hey, I think I got this $300,000 case or $270,000 case, and you're learning the other side's like, nah, we don't agree. We think you got a case. We'd like to pay you a dollar amount. That dollar amount is not 270K or 300K, and if they're at 30K, there's a good chance. Listen, might they be looking to meet you at 150? If you were at 300 and they start at 30, yeah, maybe. That might 180, 130. That might be where they're looking to meet. And you don't know that for a fact, but you do have some notions that you garnered from going to that mediation. And that can have real value, right? Also, lastly, mediation is valuable because you look reasonable. You look like, if a magistrate is looking at a case and considering whether or not to schedule a settlement conference, and they see that you're, consenting to and engaging in good faith during mediations, in the record, well, that magistrate judge, federal court might, or even that arbitrator might say, hey, let's have a settlement conference. Let's weigh in here. Let's get everybody in here and have a little talk about the matter, right? And those settlement conferences can be incredibly valuable. So there's value to the mediation that front. So for all these reasons, yeah, listen, do I think you messed up? A little bit. I think that was a non-optimal decision. But a non-optimal decision is not the same as a deal breaker, right? Like you've not destroyed your case. You've not broken the bank. You have not put yourself at a severe disadvantage. You have not. It was just not the best decision, and that's okay. It's very rare in life that we as human beings, again, make the best decision. If you can make the best decision 51% of the time, you are a billionaire. I assure you. Like, that is incredible. If you can make even a mostly good decision like 53% of the time as a human being in 2024, you're happy, you're healthy, probably, with a little bit of luck, and you're probably wealthy to some extent. Like you really got to think about like that kind of decision making rate is incredible if you can put up those kind of successful numbers. So don't beat yourself up about this. You can go to mediation again later, right? And you can also just have settlement discussions now. Mediation is not the only place to talk settlement. It might be one of the best places, facilitated by a third party who may or may not be very talented at helping cases settle and helping communication happen between conflicting parties, right? Like that could be really valuable, could have real merit to your cause. But there's nothing stopping you from saying, hey, I know I decline mediation, but I do have a monetary demand. Do you want to have a conversation about it? Or if you're not comfortable doing that for some reason, which I think you're mistaken about, the next thing you can do is just very simply say, hey, I know I declined mediation, and I think it's important you know that I'm open to it now. Like, I think this is going on, and you got to be a little strong about this, right? You can't look weak. You can't look like you're on the ropes and you're running for the mediator when before you were like, no mediation. I'll take this to the end, right? So I'd come out and be like, listen, I think this is headed for federal litigation or whatever it is. I don't know your situation, right? I think this is headed for federal litigation, and that's going to be expensive for everybody involved. I don't know if you have counsel or not, but if you don't have counsel, you tell them, like, I'm going to have to hire counsel, obviously, and I don't want to give them a percentage. And you don't want the public filings in federal court, and I don't want the public filings in federal court, maybe. So do you want to do a redo on that mediation that we talked about? Because it seems like this is really getting serious. And maybe it makes sense to see if you can make things right. Right? That's a perfectly reasonable way to approach that, where you don't look weak. And you might find they do find that compelling, especially if they were into mediation before. If they were open to mediation before, and you were like, you just kibosh it. You're like, not going to happen. Well, okay, that's fine. But they probably don't have, especially their defense counsel, don't have a lot of personal feelings about this, right? Defense counsel, they're just billing. They're just making money. They like to do a good job on the case most of the time because that's how they keep their clients. But beyond that, like, there's not a lot of personal animosity. A lot of the times, defense counsel's like, yeah, my client really messed up here. My client's a real POS. Did some bad things. They're going to have to pay, right? So if you go and be like, I said no mediation, but I'm open to mediation now. All defense counsel really hears is, I get to bill, and maybe this case settles, and this case might be a bad case. Maybe I don't want to try this case because it's a bad case. I'm going to lose big, and I don't want to lose big because I could lose my client. So, yeah, let's mediate. I would love to bill 10 hours to prep and 4 to 8 hours to mediate. That's nearly 20 hours on this case. And that's a real nice time. I get a lot of money for that. I probably get 20, 30 grand for doing that. And maybe I can get rid of the case. Maybe I can cut this nice plaintiff a check because this plaintiff, there's a decent chance this plaintiff is going to get paid if this goes to trial. Maybe they don't have counsel now, but if they get counsel, things are going to get real sticky potentially. So that's a thought as well. So okay. Listen, was it a suboptimal decision? Yes, but it wasn't that bad, and you got a lot of plays left, so you're okay. You're going to be okay, potentially. If this was helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below, share our channel so it can grow. Take care, everybody.